So I'd like to welcome everyone to Minimum Wage Monopoly. We're premiering our street theater, Minimum Wage Monopoly, today at Christine Elliott's office. Before we get started, I want to introduce all of our minimum wage workers today. Who's our Walmart worker? There's our Walmart worker. Great thing about Walmart is not only does Walmart pay their employees low wages, but due to the sheer size of their global supply chain, they're able to suppress wages across the globe in order to deliver you those low prices. So everyone give Walmart a big round of applause for their amazing work at repressing workers' rights. Next we have Tim Hortons. Who's our Tim Hortons worker? Lucky you. Tim Hortons is ingrained in the Canadian identity, and Tim Hortons coffee isn't just always fresh, they're always making profits off the backs of their minimum wage workers. So thanks so much, Tim Hortons, for coming out to play today.
Shame.
Who is our Target worker? We have a Target worker here. Welcome to Canada. Oh, Jim. There we go. Welcome to Canada, Target. Well, Target is pretty indistinguishable from their other big department stores. Target Canada itself has set themselves out from the pack by firing all Zellers employees when they took over and made them reapply for their same job at lower wages. So thanks, Target, for bringing unbridled American-style capitalism to our very backyard here in Canada. Thank you so much, Target. Give them a round of applause. Now, who's our Boston Pizza worker? Here we go, Boston Pizza. Many of you will recognize Boston Pizza from their owner on Dragon's Den. While Boston Pizza has seen 6% growth year over year for the past 3 years, their minimum wage workers have not seen a cent. So thank you, Boston Pizza, for being a beacon of Canadian capitalism right here in Canada. Thanks so much for coming out. Thank you. And where's our agricultural worker? Oh, Lyle, you're our agricultural worker.
Nice hat.
Yeah, nice hat. While working hard on factory farms across Ontario, our agricultural worker does back-breaking labor just to bring food to your dinner plate. Ironically, that same worker can sometimes not afford to buy their own food to feed themselves at night. So thank you so much, the agricultural business, for making sure that workers can eat, but making sure that the rest of the country does. Thanks so much. Thank you. And we have our fast food worker from McDonald's over here with the fry costume. McDonald's has been ripping off workers for generations.
They're greasy.
And giving their children diabetes and contributing to the obesity epidemic at the same time.
Yay!
Not only are fast food workers paid so little that they can't afford health insurance, the cost to the healthcare system associated with fast food makes this company a real competitor for the most greedy company in Canada, pushing their external costs of doing business onto the rest of society. So thank you, McDonald's, for participating today. Thank you. Okay, we're going to start with McDonald's. There's your die. We're going to get you to roll the dice.
I wonder how far I'm going to go.
Get on that.
I'm going for food. I want food. Going for food. All right, here we go.
And you move ahead one spot. You know, you're always trying to get ahead when you're earning minimum wage. So can you please give me $5 of your hourly wage for your rent?
That's almost half what I'm paying.
Exactly. Thank you so much. All right, next we're going to have Boston Pizza worker slaving all day in the hot oven, slaving in the kitchen making pizza. Those pierogi pizzas taste so good. Okay, one spot again. Who would have thought? Go ahead, one spot, please. And please give me $5, half of your wage for your rent. Thank you so much. Next, we'll have your Target worker. Please step up, Target, to the plate again. Thank you so much for being here in Canada. We love the fact that you hate your workers. Roll that die. And one spot again. One spot. Move up ahead a spot and please give me half your wages for your rent, please. $5. The bankers really need you. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, I think our Walmart worker is also a student. So before you even start, student, I'm going to need at least $2 from you because you had that summer job and you need to pay off your OSAP. So please, before you even start the game, I'm going to need to collect $2 from you. Thank you so much. Now roll that die. I know it's difficult multitasking as a minimum wage worker sometimes. It's a little distracting. In one spot, thank you so much. Please pay up your rent. Thank you. And next we're going to have Tim Hortons. Not only minimum wage workers work at Tim Hortons, but those uniforms are so flattering, as you can always see when you go in there. And one spot again. Please pay me your rent. Thank you so much.
I'm a temporary one.
I'm going to get the jail guard here to help me with these rent payments. Thank you. You're unionized. You're a jail worker, so you're okay.
I'll change that.
Hey, Jim.
Who else do we have left? Agricultural worker, one last to roll the die.
Hey, Udak, I'm a temporary worker too at tomorrow.
Need more of
And one space. Way to go, way to go. We're going to pass the jail guard over there your $5 for your rent. Thank you so much. And now we're going to go at will. So whoever wants to go next, pick up the die. Your next contestant on this minimum wage monopoly. Try to move ahead and get your food paid for. One. There you go. Please pay the jail guard. How much we got on? What are we paying for today? Internet and phone. Internet and phone. You want to be connected to the rest of the world, so please pay up your internet and phone costs.
Pay that phone.
That's just $3 because I got late fees.
Yeah, $3 because there's late fees. Have to juggle those bills from month to month. And an interesting note, the jail guard Tim Hudak would have us have a right to work province, so soon you'll all be working for minimum wage, regardless of who you are. All right, next up and roll the die. Oh, what a surprise! You can only move one step ahead. It's almost like this game is rigged. That'd be $2 for your phone and internet. You want to keep in touch with your parents and your children, it's going to cost you.
Hey, these Walmart workers are techy.
Okay, who's next? Who's next to roll? Who's next to test their fortunes in minimum wage monopoly?
One.
Pay up! Pay up! Open your wallets! Open your wallets!
You know, your phone bill's going to be a little bit more, Lance, than everybody else.
My phone bill.
Oh, one! There you go. Keep on moving down that board as slowly as a
Oh, yeah,
snail.
throw it away. You got lots.
Interesting to note that the CEOs who are playing this game have already gone through the board 5 times. They've already gone, collected their money, and gone past go 5 times.
I don't have money.
One?
I can't. I'm a student.
She's a student, so pay whatever 25 cents you have, and we need the jail guard there to bring you out to jail. There's the jail. Drag her off. Drag her off.
You're on your
It's a
own.
crime to be poor. You got to stand behind that fence.
You're behind the debtor's prison now.
Oh, man.
Now you get to hang out with good old
You'll have
Tim
company
Hudak.
soon.
You will be. I know I don't have enough money to pay for everything on there.
Going for 3. Oh, 3.
Oh, and one again! No, what do you know? Earning minimum wage is such a tough goal.
I gotta pay my internet. How much is this?
$2, please.
Shouldn't have got high speed.
Texting fees.
Who's next on the minimum wage monopoly? Who's next? We still got to get the food. You still haven't eaten yet. Work harder. Work harder. And there's one.
Move up one.
I gotta pay my $2. That's because you can't afford to come here. Get another job.
There's one. All right, you got to pay your electricity and hydro. Please pay up to the jail guard. We need $2 more from you.
And $1.
And $1. Sorry, there's $3. $3, please.
Very frugal.
Hi. We have Christine. Christine, would you like to play minimum wage monopoly with us?
Just watching, yes?
We would really like, we've had in the past asked MPPs and other politicians to live on minimum wage or on social assistance a budget for a month. So we'd love if you play the game and come on and see how far you make it as a minimum wage worker. We're trying to get to food, but your leader Tim Hudak keeps on dragging people to jail when they can't afford it. So we really like you to play. We really like you to play.
Well, I'm not able to play, but I did want to go and talk.
Trish, I'm worried she'll push that down the stairs. I'm just worried.
Well, currently, minimum wage workers are making 19% below the low-income cutoff. So what we'd like to see is at least to have them dragged out of poverty so they're able to afford their food costs and then peg those increases in the future to the cost of living increases. So $14 an hour is about where you don't have to live in poverty to work. So we think that needs to happen today, if not yesterday.
Yeah!
Yeah.
I think that there is a lot there. I know it's difficult for people who are living on minimum wage right now, but I just think we have to make sure that we balance that, because we've got to make sure that employers are going to be able to pay it, because you've probably heard some of the stories where it's increasing and some people have to get laid off. So I'm in favor of fair wages for everybody, but we have to make sure that employers can pay it. So all I'm saying is we need to work to find a balance. I know that there's a government committee that's going to be taking a look at that, and certainly I want to participate in that to the extent I can and bring your concerns forward as your representative.
So I'd like to just challenge that though. So we've had studies after study after study that shows that increasing the minimum wage doesn't kill jobs. So if you have a study you could cite to us to let us know where you're getting this information from, where workers are losing their jobs and the minimum wage is increasing, we'd love to see it. We can email you our 23 references that ACORN and the Workers' Action Center in Toronto have referenced. We've never seen jobs die. In fact, 54% of our gross domestic product in Ontario and across Canada is driven by consumer spending. So in actual fact, when minimum wage workers aren't living below the poverty line, are able to spend that discretionary money in the economy, we'll see small businesses actually be able to hire more employees because they'll have more money coming into their coffers through increased demand for their products. So we've actually seen that, especially during the recession in Ontario, when we saw increases during about 2010, or right before 2010, that there were actually jobs were added in the economy during that time, in particular industries such as the service industry where workers earn minimum wage.
The other fact is, Jesse, 54% of companies that pay minimum wage are large corporations with 500 or more employees who can actually afford to pay more instead of their profits going up 30-40% a year, yet none of that being shared with the workers.
And we can see, because your husband has actually bemoaned the fact that corporate Canada has been sitting on $500 billion in cash reserves without investing in to create jobs. And some of these companies are companies like Boston Pizza or Pizza or Walmart Canada or Target Canada, who are making massive profits but still paying their employees the legal limits to as low as they can possibly go. So what we know is that these companies would actually pay their workers less if they were allowed to, while they're making billions of dollars in profits and not really investing it back into creating jobs, like we've heard from the rhetoric on the right about cutting taxes for the rich, and hopefully that trickle down will take effect. But as we've seen, even your own husband and our former Bank of Canada Governor Mark Carney, there we go, who have said, publicly that they are, and these aren't the most left-wing folks out there, right? The Bank of Canada is not a left-wing organization, but they've bemoaned the lack of investment, even with the huge profits we've seen in Canada. So we think it's about time that in Ontario, at least, we get this up to $14 an hour, and then we're able to create those jobs that the private sector seems unwilling to do.
Save for our kids.
And the other thing, Jesse, is pegging it to the consumer price index or the cost of inflation every year, we'll take the politics out of it. I mean, we don't need politics, and we don't need politicians deciding at election time to have a ballot box question of, do you think the lowest paid workers are worth a few more pennies? I mean, we look at Alberta, who is by far not a socialist province. They peg their minimum wage to the cost of living, as does Nova Scotia, as does the Yukon, and Saskatchewan's about to. So let's take the politics out of it. Let's set a rate, set it to the cost of living, and be done with it, so that we don't have to do this every year or every 3 years during election periods.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that, because I agree with you that when you do it once every 5 years or 10 years, whatever, then you have to play catch up, and it becomes much more difficult for any party to do, and it does become very political. I think that there should be some kind of a fair mechanism for being able to make sure that people are able to keep up. So I'd be happy to take a look at your studies. I do believe that we need to develop a mechanism. I look forward to working with the committee. And the only two other points I'd like to make. One is, we need to look at what the present government's doing in failing to create higher paying, better jobs in the province of Ontario on a whole bunch of fronts. I think they failed miserably at that. Secondly, what I feel very strongly about is we need to get everybody into the workforce. I've done a lot of work with people with special needs, a lot of people who are really struggling, that are, I know it's not a minimum wage issue, but it's an ODS issue. People that aren't able to get out of poverty poverty. We need to give everybody an opportunity to work and to work for a fair wage. So I don't think we're that far apart. There's some points that we won't agree with, but I think there's many more points we can agree on. And so I thank you for being here today, and I certainly look forward to receiving you.
And thanks for coming out to speak with us. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Remember, Christine, minimum wage workers have children.
Yes.
Quite often, more and more every year. They have more children. You got 2 children, you're on minimum wage. You're left with your hand out
I
constantly.
know, and it's hard to keep up with things.
And you got to remember the last minimum wage increase, prices didn't stay the same. They kept going up.
Yep.
Price of gas has gone up, everything's gone up.
And if
but
you're a
not the
student,
minimum.
our tuition's increasing 5% a year, and our minimum wage, where we predominantly work, is not increasing along with that cost of living. The cost of living for students is much higher than in the general population. So those are all things I think we need to take into consideration. But yeah, thank you so much, Christine, for coming out. In fact, speaking of having a daughter and working at minimum wage, there's my daughter right now, who's an activist in herself, in her own right. So.
Well, it's good to see the little ones out here.
Christine,
Power to the people!
if I may just got two more points. What money the kids do have. In Ontario, there's a $9,000 income tax threshold.
No, the debt
In Alberta, it's $14,000. In Alberta, they've got what money that they do spend or can spend. Here, it's 13%. Provincial sales tax. In Alberta, it's 5%. Now, if there's one thing that you folks with the PC party and the NDP can agree upon, this equation is unsustainable. You're giving more back. Yeah, they get less in Alberta, but they're keeping almost twice as much, between $9,000 and $14,000. So you can do a couple of other things as well as increase the minimum wage. You can heighten that threshold of the deductible, because the millionaires are not making $14,000 a year, okay? People with disabilities like myself, my kids that are then forced to go plant trees. My son this summer had to work 2 jobs where he was put into illegal circumstances and he was told to put up and shut up. This is what's being done to our youth. My child has now had to quit that job because he was forced into an illegal situation that the DRPS has been involved in. My point is here is that he's been off work for 6 weeks, and he's going to have to make the decision between cat food and tuition. And I'm only getting $400 a month, as you well know, from WSIB, and that's a sin in all of itself. The system, the equation is unsustainable. So, minimum wage up, threshold of the income tax up. Let's make it equivalent with other Canadian provinces. And then when we talk about the GST and the HST, let's have a higher rebate for those folks. They need it. They need more cat food. And less stress of having to worry about whether they're going to go to school today or whether they got to make a choice between U of T or Fanshawe.
Well,
This
John,
is
I
not
think you're
right.
making a really good point that it's not just a simple matter of just raising the minimum wage. There's a lot of other issues that come into it, and so I really hope that that provincial committee is going to take a look at it in a meaningful way and not just take a look at that one narrow issue, because there are many more things that need to be.
This equation, the PCs and the NDP agree upon. You folks can get together and solve this if you want to. If you want to. That government is wrong. It's crooked. You know that. Mr. McGuinty and Miss Wynne is just leading a bunch of hapless bunch of bozos. You know that?
Here, here.
You know that. Okay? But kids are starving. Kids are being forced into not having jobs. And as that study said, we've got the highest unemployment youth rate in, where is it, all of Canada or Ontario? That's Christine, your husband's a minister of finance for Canada. This is the last place that should be happening.
Well, I can't
Frisk the muscle,
I can tell you
kick him in the ass, start do what you need to do to convince him that your kids are kids. They all go to school together. They love each other.
That's where the right to work for less is too. It's just the same
Let's
thing.
do it for
Drive
real.
down wages.
We can have that conversation.
I will.
You're great, because
Okay.
Tim's going bye-bye. You're next up to bat.
And make sure you stop.
Next up to bat. Swing
Say
and
no.
miss.
Say no right to work.
Tim's got a job waiting for him as a jail guard, so he's going to be okay. Thank you so much, Christine. All right, whose turn is it on minimum wage monopoly? We're back for our intermission.
Oh.
Hello, Raymond, my dear.
What
is Daddy doing?
Oh, you better
Exactly, should we do it in
Oh, there's one spot. Move ahead one spot. It's so tough to get ahead in this economy. Pass it over to the jail guard. Jim, get a... Tim Hudak distracted on the job as usual.
I usually have help for this.
What are you, a TTC worker? What's going on here? Hey, move ahead one spot. Please pay up for your electricity and water. That would be $3, please.
You haven't went hungry for years.
There you go, there's 3. I will when I get saving my money here. One. It's my future.
Oh, one spot for the agricultural worker. Breaking his back in the factory farms all day long.
I gotta go to jail.
Oh, watch out, guys. We have a fellow coming through.
We'll get you a second draw.
Our apologies. Thank you.
You with us? Yeah, all right.
Where'd you get all the money from?
I'm waiting for the workers to go on strike because they can move ahead one spot at a time.
Well, I need to.
You made it all the way to food? How is that even possible?
You can't buy it. You'll have no money.
Welcome to jail. Oh yeah.
Guys, you just hit
Oh, you don't have enough money. Okay, get into jail there. Pass off your money to the jail guard.
You got a death sentence. You got to serve. Uh-oh.
Oh, another prisoner. Filling up those Ontario prisons. But don't worry, Tim Hudak wants to introduce slave labor into our Ontario prisons. So not only will you not be able to afford food, but one day you'll be working for free.
Bring Sally down. Bring Sally up. Bring Sally down.
One! Please get your food. Oh, I'm sorry. You're going to go hungry today. Grilled cheese and bread for you in the prison.
I only have 25 cents. What can I get with that?
We're getting all your 25 cents and you're getting nothing. Eat those foam fries for dinner. Eat your foam fries for dinner.
Cat food for you.
Cat food for you today, my friend.
One more cat food for you.
It looks as though all of our workers have ended up in jail with a debt sentence.
No.
Please give all of our major multi-billion-dollar corporations a big round of applause. We really appreciate all your hard work in suppressing workers' rights, and we're in partnership with the Ontario government. So thank you so much, guys, for coming out and crushing your workers' spirits.